By request, let's go ahead and review Redford Naturals. This dog food is made for you by Pet Supplies Plus. They have a variety of dry dog food, wet dog food, and freeze-dried dog food. We're going to be looking at the dry and freeze-dried. First up is the chicken and brown rice recipe. Starting off strong with a chicken, but then we got a chicken meal. Then we got two different types of grains there, followed by a lower quality grain, followed by chicken fat, followed by some processed grains, followed by natural flavor. Who knows what that is? Another meal, which is in a yellow, but I wish it was regular herring, flaxseed, okay. Dried blueberries, that would have been green if it was just regular blueberries. Dried egg product, that would have been green if it was just egg. Dried spinach would have been green if it was just regular spinach. Fish oil, I typically do as a red. Number one, what kind of fish is it? And number two, the probability that it's going to oxidize and go bad because it's in a kibble is pretty likely. When we look at our guaranteed analysis, 24% protein, that's better than the minimum. Not as high as I would like to see it though. And then when we do our calculations, this is 39 to 46% carbs, so more carbs than protein. Don't like that. Next up, the limited ingredient diet. This is going to be the salmon and sweet potato. Man, I did not do a good picture here. It is salmon meal, dried peas, dried lentils, canola oil, and then one other thing. Salmon I like, salmon meal, don't like meals. Dried peas, dried lentils. If they were just regular peas and regular lentils, not already dried, they probably would have landed in a green, but I don't like too many of those things. I don't like too many grains, and I don't like too many peas and lentils and things like that. Canola oil is always going to get a red for me because that is a highly inflammatory oil. It's going to be really high in omega-6s, and dog food in general is pretty much, kibbles in general are going to be really high in omega-6s and your omega-3s. Your natural flavor, who knows what that is, tapioca starch, tomato pumice are going to be low quality, so those landed in a red. The 27% protein, which that's better, and I like that, which means that we are 34 to 42% carbs, so still high in the carbs, but at least we have a better protein content there. All right, taking it back to some of the original recipes, this is going to be the beef and brown rice. This looks pretty similar to the chicken and brown rice. We start off with the whole beef. I like that. Then we got a turkey meal. Wish it wasn't a meal. Then we got two grains. I don't love that, but hey, man, they're inevitable. And at least there's not like 5 or 6 of them. But then we got pearled barley. That one landed in a red because it's an already processed one. Pork fat. Don't love that. That's an everything rice bran. And already another processed grain, so that's 4 different types of grains that we're seeing here, and really only 2 different types of meat here. Natural flavor, who knows what the heck that is. Herring meal, once again, wish it was a meal. Flaxseed, okay. Then we have these couple of pre and probiotics. This is to me like when your great aunt buys you a gift and you don't like the gift, but it's like the thought that counts. But here there isn't even really a thought that counts because these guys are just adding this in there to say that they can add that in there. The probability that these products are going to still be living organisms by the time that they go through cooking and by the time that they sit on a shelf for forever is pretty low. So once again, kind of like the thought that counts, but didn't really count. Protein content is sitting at 25, better than the minimum, but still not as high, almost as high as I would like to see it. And this means that this is 38 to 45% carbs. Once again, more carbs than protein. The last one that we will look at is the freeze-dried raw salmon recipe. We see salmon, which is cool, but then we have herring oil. That's going to be, kind of fishy. Once again, it's most likely going to go rancid because, well, I might take that back. It hasn't gone through that heavy of a process because we're freeze-dried and not extruded like a kibble does. This bag is a lot smaller, so the probability that that's going to go rancid through to oxidizing is less. But then we have a lot of, just chemicals and supplements that in my opinion, are not as bioavailable as whole food sources. So I think they're just kind of meh. But we do have a nice protein content of 45%. And that means that our carb content is 15 to 22, which I like. All in all, I think I'm going to give this guy a C-. The ingredients are lacking. The guaranteed analysis is lacking. It's not the worst that I've seen, but they're priced at about $1.90 to $2.70 per pound. And I think that's pretty high for what you're getting. So C- for this guy.